All right.
So Nathan is going to present a case that Jens Chapman and I did recently, and the case is still unfolding. And so I thought it'd be good for Nathan's going to go ahead and present it. It's kind of it incorporates a little bit of everything that we're talking today, and kind of what to do, and looking back, what could we have done differently? Right. So Nathan Pratt.
Hi there.
Take it away, Nathan.
Nathan Pratt, one of the spine fellows here at Swedish. So we'll show a case today, like Dr. O said, it's kind of complicated with some complications afterward. Apologize for my voice. It's a 40-year-old man with Down syndrome who's nonverbal, who developed progressive lower extremity weakness and severe back pain, though he can't communicate that verbally. His mother notes that due to an L4 compression fracture. It was discovered about 3 months prior to his referral to our practice. He had a fall about 9 months prior to that after he fell from a 6-foot structure, but he was fine afterward. And so they didn't do anything for about 6 months until they got the x-ray. Mother reports back pain, but she says he doesn't have any radiating pain, no numbness. He has baseline, essentially normal bowel and bladder function, though. Again, because of his developmental delay, there's issues there. Initially, he could ambulate at his baseline, but became wheelchair dependent. The lesion was biopsied in another hospital, negative for malignancy. They were concerned about a pathologic fracture. His other history is not important. His exam is very limited. He doesn't follow commands, obviously, but he is anti-gravity throughout. He has decreased deep tendon reflexes, would be the only thing interesting there. Here are his x-rays. This is 3 months before he saw us at SNI. So you see his L4 wedge compression deformity with both a forward-leaning kyphotic posture as well as a little bit of a coronal deformity off to the left side as well. Here's his MRI. This was obtained about 2 months before he was sent to see us, re-demonstrating the deformity, showing that there is some significant but not critical stenosis in addition to that. And then this seated upright exercise. So he didn't have a full-length standing film, and he can't really stand. So the seated film is the best I have in terms of showing you his
see how much in 3 months it collapsed, and he had pretty significant
here's this
deformity.
And then now it just collapsed. The deformity is much worse. From what we could measure, sagittal plane parameters, his lumbar lordosis is about half a degree of kyphosis, actually.
This is a general patient. It's a good cervical spine evaluation done.
There, he does have. Yeah,
he was thoroughly worked up. But that's
he has all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, yes, all that's there. Yeah, he has pathology higher up as well. This is a much more complicated thing than just that. You're correct. That is correct. He does. Yeah, unfortunate.
But look how much in a short amount of time.
Yeah, focally kyphotic, almost 40 degrees at that level because of this. So, and the coronal plane parameters are not on there, so that was an old version of it. He doesn't have an SVA. He doesn't have a standing film. Where is the CT?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, there's a CT. Unfortunately, it wasn't included in here.
Oh, where is the CT scan?
It's okay. I don't think we included it.
It got deleted.
So Jens actually was taking care of him, and the kid just started to get more and more kyphotic.
Go back on the MRI.
Yeah.
It's like bone in this canal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very suspicious with bone in the canal.
It is.
Well, and we thought it was a tumor. We thought it was a tumor, maybe, or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like a pathologic fracture.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
It is bone in the canal.
What's his bone mineral density or his quantitative on a CTA? Like, do we have a quantitative assessment of what his bone is?
That's an excellent question. So I think we did some Hounsfield units.
Yeah.
I think they were normal.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, he had normal.
He didn't
Hounsfield
have
units.
Just a lot of times these patients will oftentimes the Downs patients, especially in the adult population, will have be osteoporotic or osteopenic, but they will also have a qualitative difference in their bone as well, along with their ligamentous issues.
Sure. I didn't actually do the case, but I think the bone quality was pretty.
Yeah, the bone quality was actually very good.
Okay.
from what I recall.
So we thought maybe it was so he got a biopsy, and then because it had progressed so much, we couldn't really get our interventional people to do kyphoplasty, but he did get a biopsy.
Right. And I mean, this was
Because
a
it had
lengthy discussion.
retropulse so much.
It was a lengthy
You don't
discussion.
do a kyphoplasty with this anyway.
No.
I mean, there's no way.
No,
This
but
guy needs surgery.
Not at this
on,
point.
Yeah.
No, he needs surgery.
Not here.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what was that. We proceeded to a 2-stage surgery, L2 of pelvis at the beginning, here with the instrumentation, followed by a lateral corpectomy afterward.
So Jens did the posterior part, and this is where, again, I wonder, I mean, we probably put too much hardware in this kid, going back to John's point,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Actually, I like it a lot. I'm glad you guys did posterior first. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes is people going in lateral first.
Yeah.
You got to do posterior first. It's a very good lesson where you stabilize the spine. You now stabilize it, then do what you need for your decompression. If someone had gone in and done a lateral first, this would be a nightmare. You'd have no way of controlling the stability. This thing's grossly unstable.
Right.
It's this thing I tell every fellow, do posterior first. Here if it's pork, stabilize it, then do what you need in the front. Now you can do your corpectomy.
The problem though is, and this is not something that you're going to be able to solve, is his underlying ligamentous issues and his underlying baseline pathology, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a fight that none of us are going to win. So I mean, it looks great, but like that's the issue.
But I'm going to submit he probably corrected, just putting him prone and doing posterior. You don't need a lot to correct his alignment. He probably just fell in place.
Yeah.
They're pretty elastic. They'll fall in place.
Yeah, I mean, you can see. I mean, this is obviously a lateral fluoro shot, but yeah, already looks better just with the instrumentation in place.
And then I actually did an L4. So Jens did the posterior part, and then I think a couple days later I did
It
the
was
lateral.
almost. I think it was almost a week later because
Was it a week
He
later?
had blood loss anemia. He had
Yeah,
like
that's true.
vasoplegia afterward. Like
Yeah.
he just had
No, it's the
complicated-
right thing to do. And then you go electively go do your corpectomy and decompress this canal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right thing to do.
And then I left a little piece of bone just for the fusion on the opposite side. He was in the hospital for like 2 months. I mean, he had every single thing you can think of. Intra-op, he had vasoplegia. Post-op, he had hypotension, and lost a lot of blood from the posterior part. And then we had really difficult time. So, with Down syndrome, communication issues and things like that. But there was a huge piece of bone that was stuck on the dura, and Jens did a good job of getting most of it out, but there was a big piece that was stuck on the dura, and I had a hell of a time trying to get it out, and then I got a dural tear trying to get it out, and then we put some stitches in.
So is this
And
done
then
through a
tacked it off.
tube or an open approach?
No, I did a lateral approach.
Lateral or open?
Yeah, I've done a lot of L4 corpectomies, and they're tricky, and you can't more than an hour, like the rest of the faculty here today was saying, they're very difficult cases. But for something like this, I think you could do an anterior open, but like a traditional ALIF. But I just I've had pretty decent success doing L4.
I actually disagree. I think lateral is a much better approach than anterior.
Yeah.
For what he had right here, lateral is a way better approach. Anterior, you would have had to mobilize the vessels all the way over.
Yeah.
On this guy, you want to mobilize all that's even worse. No, I think lateral is the right approach.
I also love the fact that you left that bridge of bone on the other side. Like once you've decompressed it, you want all that vascular bone to kind of go out and heal. He's already compromised, so I mean, I think I like to do the same, is try to leave enough of a bridge on the other side to really allow that to heal across that area.
The other thing what was interesting on this case, and I never expected this, is that when we distracted open, these cages are so powerful. I didn't want to fracture the end plate, but we were able to, and I can't understand. I think it's because the screws are multi-axial.
Yeah.
And even though they're locked in from the back, they still can move.
Oh, yeah.
And I wish I think we had a movie, but you could watch it it wedged open. Go back one more, and it wedged open pretty significantly in the front. So much that I had to pull the cage more posterior because I thought it was going to go out the front.
Spit out.
But you would think that you wouldn't be able to get with all that hardware in the back. But I think because the screws are multi-axial, they can still windshield wiper a little bit.
They plow, right? They plow a little bit too. 100%
Yeah.
they move. They do move.
Yeah.
But done a great job. I think it was a really good job. It was a tough case, really tough case.
Well,
Good job.
Well, the story
not-
continues. Yeah, it hasn't.
so
done.
far,
It's not
yeah.
done.
However, at the
Yeah.
3-month follow-up,
Yeah.
you can see at the top of the construct he's fractured the L2 vertebral body.
And then
The
you
screws
can
are
see
sticking
the
into end
cage
plate.
actually came down a little
Yep.
bit. It lost its
Some of that
height.
lordosis is lost, and
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like one of those. This is more, you know, the saying you can't make chicken salad out of chicken, whatever. But the idea is his bone quality and an underlying pathophysiology or the pathology is going to be a rate limiting step. And I don't know